Mark, we're so glad to have you here with us today, and also Jon Waters, who will be directing this band that we're about to talk about. But Mark, we'll start with you. You're in town to officially welcome the Band Directors Marching Band to the 2026 parade. Why did you choose us specifically to come into town?
They have such a great message, and they're great musically, obviously, also. Their 450 members that play are great, but when we had them previously in our parade in 2022, and they were one of the highlights of the parade, and so we're thrilled to welcome them back.
It is so exciting when you see the actual band directors from 400 bands across the country, and Jon, you said even Mexico joining.
Yes, even we cover the nation and Mexico, and these are music educators who teach in small towns, large cities, suburban, rural, all over the country. If you start thinking about the numbers of students they educate, it's staggering. Mm-hmm. And so we have people who are fresh out of college in their first band director job to people who have retired from the profession, and we all come together and make a joyful noise in Pasadena on January 1st.
And of course, they're learning from one of the best, because most people know that you are a former OSU marching band director, now at BGSU, but talk about the challenge to get all these band directors in sync.
Imagine this. Imagine 450 type A personalities who are used to being in charge of their bands. Yeah. And so the deal that I make with them is we'll take care of the buses and the food and the logistics. You're just kids in the band again.
Oh gosh.
And so we have a fun time with them, and they've really embraced that.
That's great. And a lot of people may not know, but there is such a special connection to Pickerington. And you knew Mike Sewell when he was the beloved band director in Pickerington, which is really why this band was even created in the first place. Can you just talk quickly about that specialness?
Yeah, no, it was a fond memory for me. I worked with Mike. I was on our music committee, which is one of our 30 operating committees in the tournament. In my 30-year career, I was on the music committee twice, and Pickerington came both times I was assigned to that committee, and I got to know Mike, and he would call me at 8 o'clock my time, which was like 11 o'clock Ohio time, right? And he's out in the snow marching with his band, and so I got to know Mike and his wife Karen, who's really the driving force behind the band director band. And so as a personal note, it's just great for my wife and Kay and I to welcome them back.
It'll be certainly exciting for the city of Pickerington as well. But I need to talk a little bit of football here, because obviously Pac-10 is changing. We're seeing so much change, and you know, you're in negotiations right there when it comes to college football playoffs. What are we hearing now that we know that 2026 the Rose Bowl will be the quarterfinal host?
Correct.
What comes next?
You know, that's the $64 question. You said Pac-10, it's actually the Pac-12, and interestingly enough, we still have an agreement with the Pac-12. The Tournament of Roses this year has a Pac-12 Big Ten agreement through this year's parade, through 2026. But we're in constant contact with the College Football Playoff, and they've been great partners with us, and have clearly communicated that we know what 2026 is going to look like, but for 2027 and the next 6-year cycle, they still want to refine the process, and we're not quite sure what it's going to look like for 2027 and beyond.
Well, that's why I said Pac-10, because back in the day when I went to USC, it was Pac-10. And so do you foresee a time where these beloved traditions of bowl games will be a thing of the past?
We certainly hope not. And in our conversations with the College Football Playoff, they do feel like bowl games are an integral part of it. There have been some in the process, not the College Football Playoff team specifically, but others in the realm of college football have called for eliminating bowl games and just having some of the home games at some of the universities that make the playoffs. Yeah. But our hope is, and the conversations we're having, we really hope the bowl games will continue to matter and be an integral part of the College Football Playoff going forward.
And I have to ask, you know, those wildfires in Pasadena and Altadena, we all saw the video, and just devastating for so many communities. Any plans to honor the victims of those wildfires who are trying to still rebuild, and even the first responders during the parade in 2026? Absolutely.
They're going to be at the core of what we do this year. You know, on January 1st we had a beautiful day, and it was sunny and a great parade, and a week later on January 7th the fire started at 6:30 p.m. and devastated and roared for about a week, and we had lost over 9,000 structures, churches, schools, but mostly private residences in Pasadena and Altadena. So recovery will be a big part of our message. You'll see it throughout the parade. You'll see it depicted on some of our floral floats. You'll see some of our bands talking about it, and we'll also be doing some messaging. The Tournament of Roses is a big part of the community, and we've been donating back to our fire victims and trying to help the community. That's been a big part of our effort this year.
Is that how you chose this year's theme?
Actually, the theme was done a year ago. We worked pretty far out to clear the trademarks and the legal stuff, and we started working on the artwork for the theme. And that's the one of the two things the president gets to do is name a grand marshal and come up with the parade theme. So the magic and teamwork is our theme this year, and it really resonated with people when we started coming together as a community after the fires to start to help the recovery process and help our fire victims rebuild.
It seems pretty unique that was planned so well in advance, but the teamwork that we have seen in that rebuilding is just tremendous.
Yeah, the amount of resources that have poured into Pasadena and really the community at large. You see people volunteering to help people, with homes and with their own personal lives, getting it put back together. And the school system. We lost 6 schools in the Pasadena area, so there's a lot of rebuilding that needs to be done. But the community has really come together, and so the teamwork theme really resonates.
Resilience, indeed. Speaking of which, you brought something really special that was created just for this year. Kind of speaks to the whole magic and teamwork. Talk about these patches that we're seeing.
Yeah, so when we were talking about a theme, we wanted something that depicted teamwork, and our thought was that a lot of the participants in our parade, like the B-2 bomber team, they have a stealth team patch, and our fire department and our police department, first responders all have patches. So we asked our participating bands in this year's parade to send us one of their logos, and we ran it through an embroidery program. And it's all about teamwork. So these patches depict the teamwork in all of these bands that will be participating in the Rose Parade.
And I love it. Front and center, the band director's marching band, Jon holding that's got to feel pretty special.
It does. This is a moment for band directors. It's a bucket list item. We have all these band directors who dream of maybe one day marching in the Rose Parade. It's such an American institution. It's such a special thing for communities across the country and students. And many band directors, in fact, will apply for the Rose Parade their entire career, finally get in, and then retire. Because it's so special. And this represents all of the music making that will be in this year's parade from across the country.
Well, we just love the Ohio connection, especially. So thank you both for coming in, and we'll see you on January 1st.
Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you.